Coming up on MHS1.
We jump into local politics.
Saddle up with an equestrian.
And learn more about a new gaming spot.
And it's all coming up on MHS1.
Good morning, McKinney High School. Today is Friday, March 6th. I'm Allie Tauber.
And I'm Monica Newland, and you're watching MHS1.
As national elections gain traction, it's important not to undermine your local government. Sarah Humadi and I bring us a story on what's happening most recently in our city council.
The masses thought that slavery was okay. Had it not been for people who were separate from that, we would still be in that situation.
In 170 years, District 1 City Councilman Lashadian Shemwell is the second ever Black official elected to the city of McKinney. On October 15th, his proposal of a Black state of emergency highlighted police brutality targeting Black and brown citizens within the state of Texas.
There are not a lot of examples of how Black elected officials in this community conduct themselves. Understand that a proclamation to proclaim means to make aware, because some people don't understand that there's an issue. And then after, I wanted lawmakers to actually take a stance to protect Black and brown citizens. And that's what the Black state of emergency, it actually had 6 different breakdowns of suggestions that we could actually use to protect Black people in the state of Texas.
The particular terminology used in Shemwell's proclamation instigated an uproar amongst McKinney citizens, including elected officials.
His Black state of emergency, it led off with, the state of Texas, its local governments and law enforcement agencies have declared war on Black and brown citizens by conspiring to kill, injure, harm, oppress, and take away their civil liberties, and it goes on from there. Anytime you holistically and with a broad stroke brush paint any whole group, that would be wrong. And if it's not based in truth and honesty and integrity, then the words are not worth speaking.
People were upset and frustrated because they felt like it didn't happen in McKinney, so I shouldn't care about it. But imaginary city lines, imaginary county lines, those don't stop the real feelings and stress and worry. So just because it didn't happen here doesn't mean it won't happen here in the future. So the importance of this is trying to be proactive and not reactive.
Approximately 3,100 people signed a petition to recall Councilman Shemwell. In addition to Shemwell's controversial past, for many, the proclamation was the final straw that led to the recall effort.
My hope is that moving forward, Lashadian, the recall is successful. Obviously, I would not have signed the petition if I did not think that was the right thing. The council will have the opportunity to appoint somebody to council since there's less than 1 year left on his term. There are a number of residents in District 1 who are appalled, quite frankly, at what Lashadian has done, and have been very clear that he does not speak for them and he is not serving their district. You could think this recall is about something very different than it is. It's not about a single document, a Black state of emergency. It's not about that at all. That is just yet one more event in a long series of events that attempts to, number one, bring attention to himself. One thing that you will always see consistent with Lashadian is Lashadian in the center of it. 2, bring attention to the city of McKinney. And 3, always in an unconstructive, non-productive way. Don't listen to my position. I mean, listen to my position, but listen to every position and do your research.
We affect the police, hire the police chief. We affect the judge. So we affect every aspect of your life. And I'll tell you what, when the president makes a law, it might go down to Congress, go to the House, it trickles down to the states at some point. When your city council member makes a law, it's effective immediately. And most people don't know who we are. I would say register to vote and then get engaged in your local government. But if we're not doing that, then we can't complain about anything.
Every first and third Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m., McKinney residents of any age are able to speak for 3 minutes, free to voice their opinion. Whether over or under 18, you can contribute to the political landscape of McKinney. This has been Sarah Humadi and Allie Tauber reporting for MHS1.
A little bit of nostalgia is added back into the streets of downtown McKinney.
Jacob White, Isaiah Sandoval, and Cesar Jimenez press start.
Arcade 92 is a retro arcade that features 92 games and is a new addition to downtown McKinney.
So I'm the owner of Arcade 92, and the Arcade 92 is built to be an adult playground. Our slogan is "It's time to play again," which is a call out to adults who are working too much. It's time for them to come back and make some time in their schedule to play.
He started out with his own arcade games at home, but soon it evolved to the arcade we know today while providing some new upgrades.
So Arcade 92 again is a retro arcade with games from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and as well as a modern esports lounge, but we also have a full bar as well as a full kitchen. We even have some signature cocktails too that are gaming themed as well, and our food is all gaming themed as well too.
I love the environment about Arcade 92. It's very laid back. It seems like a cool place to hang out and just spend your time and relax and enjoy some old arcade games.
So it's not something that's anywhere near here. The closest one would probably be an arcade that's in Richardson. And it's something that isn't, really accessible for a lot of people here. A lot of kids that go to high school, down the street, they can just walk here if they really want to during the day.
Michael was heavily influenced by his childhood hobby of going to arcades.
When I was about 15 years old, there was a place in the Louisville Mall, fairly close to here, called Tilt. And that's pretty much where I spent mostly my entire childhood there, and which is ironic because I've been pretty much playing these games behind me, 20, 25 years ago, and now we have them here today, like I own them. So it's a lot of fun to play these games and know that 25 years ago I was playing them recreationally. I look forward to having really a multi-generational experience, so I enjoy watching families in here where an adult would teach his kid how to play Pac-Man, but then the kid drags him over there to play Fortnite, so they kind of have that multi-generational experience together.
You can find Arcade 92 at the downtown square on 305 East Virginia Street. If you wish to find out more information about the arcade, you can visit our website. This has been Isaiah Sandoval, Cesar Jimenez, and Jacob White, reporting for MHS1.
Hey, I'm Michelle Garcia, and you're watching me spill it. Well, first, this is my handy-dandy backpack. I've had this since sophomore year. She's sturdy, she's brave, she bears the hallways of McKinney High School like nobody else. I love her. The first thing basically on it, there's nothing really on it, just this keychain I got from Justice. Yes, I work at Justice, chill out. And my water bottle. This is not a hydro flask. This is not a hydro flask. This is a Dylan bottle with my initials very disgustingly written on it by my mother, so no one would take it. Basically, a Dylan bottle is like a hydro flask, but it has this like cool filter in it, which like, oh, there's water. It has this cool filter in it that basically alkalines your water. If you don't know what alkaline means, it basically raises the pH so it's healthy, clean, not acidic water. Plug. So for the first pocket, I guess, I don't think there's anything interesting in here, but oh yeah, it's just my pens and my pencils and my highlighter, the essentials you need for grading and other tasks. Next pocket. You know. Next, I have Smith's natural deodorant and peppermint chill. So that's basically what this one is. Invest in it. Some of y'all need it. You know who you are. I have my gum, lipstick, perfume, lip gloss, lip balm, facial spray, I'm basic, I know, and AirPods. Just the basic essentials. And that's it, that's my bag. I hope you enjoyed watching me spill it. Now here's Zaki Farouz with sports.
Thanks, Hallie. Last Friday, our varsity boys basketball unfortunately ended their season in overtime to Horn High School with a loss, 70-67. but our girls varsity basketball had managed to advance to the state semifinals in San Antonio. Make sure to wish them luck. Here's Noah Kim, Sarah Hamadi, and Annika Newland with the story.
The Lionettes were surprised with an overwhelming amount of support by former coach Suzanne Hales, as she was the first to take the Lionettes to state in '86.
Someone texted me first, and the very first feeling I had was just a sense of gratitude that this was continuing, that young women were learning how to have their voice and make their mark. And so a sense of pride, tears came to my eyes. I came and I started something by myself, and then was fortunate to have wonderful coaches follow and continue to make McKinney Girls Athletics a legacy.
After a 5-game win streak, senior Erin Fry describes the moment when she had realized that she was advancing to the state championship.
It was a very slow moment because the ball was on the ground for like the whole 2 seconds. So it was like, okay, and then the buzzer went off, and then it's like, we did it, and so everybody came from the bench, everybody on the court, we all went to the middle, celebrated. It was crazy. More my sophomore year, majority of the senior sophomore year, we went to playoffs and we made it to the second round and lost to Dunkerville. It was very close by 6, and us seniors knew what that pain was like, and we didn't want to experience that again. So that helped as motivation to help us get past that and to keep advancing, knowing that we have our school and community behind us. It just kept us pushing through.
The current head coach of the Lionettes basketball team has no fear going into the state tournament.
But we've been talking about this since August. But everybody outside of McKinney basketball seems to be really surprised by it. If you're listening to the social media and stuff, a lot of people are talking about the fact that we've got the lowest record going into the state tournament. I don't think there's been a team in the state tournament in 6A in the last 20 years that has a double-digit loss record. And that doesn't bother us. They're doing everything that we've asked them to do. They're checking the boxes, they're buying into Scout, they're spending hours watching film, they're ice bathing, they're doing all the things. They've earned this right. It is their time.
But as Coach Hales told the Lionettes, this chance at a state title is more than just a game.
It's going to come down to a game or some games, but it's really the rest of their life that they are playing for and preparing for. Women's athletics is one way that a young woman can learn how to find her voice and her strength and her call to be a leader in the world that needs the voice of the feminine.
This has been Annika Newland, Noah Kim, and Sarah Hamadi reporting for MHS1.
This Wednesday, varsity girls soccer were able to defeat Plano East 5-4, and the boys defeated them 2-1. Unfortunately, softball lost to the Colony 11-7. Make sure to wish baseball good luck as they take on Centennial in Highland Park today in the tournament. Now here's some more info about the pole vaulters.
Among all the activities our track and field organization offers, the pole vaulting program remains one of the most engaging.
Pole vaulting actually is pretty intense. I think for people who are looking to try it or want to come out here, one of the things that they can get out of it is a lot of self-confidence. It takes a lot to go out there and do it, and then failing, obviously, it's going to happen with anything you do.
Sometimes you got to try new things to see what you're capable of, and that you can surprise yourself with the ability that you might have. It's just something interesting that when my life seems boring, it's a little bit of excitement that excites my day up.
Honestly, for me, I just enjoy being in the air. Like the height, just going up in the air, I find it really fun. Like the adrenaline and everything. It's a lot of fun to me.
When it comes to pole vault, I honestly enjoy seeing the kids when they succeed and get over, that hump. Sometimes kids are stuck at 10 feet and they're not doing something right, whether it's getting their toes up, looking down, just some of the little details. And when you get those things right, then that changes everything. And then you see the kids with the success, and obviously that's something that, that's why I'm here. I want to see them be successful. I want to see them grow and do better. But when they reach that and then you see the smile on their face or just that happiness, then that's a plus.
If you mess up a few times, you can really psych yourself out from doing well, and that's one of the biggest challenges, is having the mental capacity to keep going.
The student athletes recount their favorite accomplishments at previous pole vaulting meets.
One of my best memories is district meet last year. I was pole vaulting and I PR'd and felt great. From then on, I realized that I loved pole vault and wanted to keep pursuing it.
At McKinney meet 2 years ago, we were pole vaulting right in the middle of Ron Post Stadium. I jumped my PR for that year, and there were just a lot of people watching, and it was a great moment.
Biggest thing is if you're interested or you just want to see what it's like, come out and ask and we can go from there.
If you want to get involved with something, pole vault's really fun. It's really quite easy to learn at first, and it's something really interesting if you're interested in doing it.
This has been Noah Kim and Annika Newland reporting for MHS1.
That's all for sports. Now back to you.
Life is full of unexpected turns. Sometimes you have to hop back on the saddle and keep going. Brylan Schrock and Eva Nasri give us the story.
Kenna Moore had tried almost every sport, but didn't find her true love until she started horseback riding at the age of 12.
Kenna tried every sport imaginable when she was younger, from diving to swimming to soccer to everything, ballet, tap. It wasn't until we moved up here in McKinney about 8 years ago that my wife, for the first time, put her on a horse. And when she got on that horse, she loved it. And that was the beginning of this whole horseback riding career.
I really clicked with it as soon as I got on the horse because I've tried so many other sports and none of them really clicked with me. And my mom used to own a horse and it's always just been in the family.
I've known Kenna for just about a year and a half now. I started working last January and met her in one of her lessons over the winter and just kind of been working with her ever since.
There's hunters, jumpers, and then inside of hunters it's equitation. Hunters is more technique based and based on the horse. Jumpers is based on the time and how many faults you get, which is like knocking over a jump. Equitation is mainly what I do and it's based on the rider and how well I ride and how I look while doing it. I was at one of the highest places you could be for equitation.
While at a competition, Kenna was finishing her final run when she suffered a devastating injury that was supposed to sideline her for the next 8 months.
In October, on the 12th, I fell off my horse at a competition in Tyler, and I broke my femur in half, right down the middle.
She was on her last jump of the day. When she came off, I actually was in the stands and I heard a snap. I thought it was her helmet hitting the ground. By the time I ran out to the arena, it was pretty obvious that her leg was broken in half.
It was a hard injury to come back from. It was pretty shocking for all of us when she had that fall. And I mean, she was such a tough cookie. She took it really well, and she was quite brave coming back too. She wanted to come back right away and get right back in the saddle, and that's hard for a lot of people. That's very nerve-wracking. It shatters your confidence a lot, and she was just ready to just be back and do everything she could, and now it's so great to see her, rebuilding her confidence and getting stronger.
I felt like if I got upset about it, that's all I would think about. And that's all that my mindset would be. And so I just kept on trying to say, one day I'll get back on. It might not be soon, but it's going to be one day.
She's basically starting from scratch. I mean, she was jumping at a very high level when she broke her femur. The recovery's slow. However, it's only been 3.5, maybe 4 months, not too long, and she's already starting back on the horse.
She's been working really hard coming back, and she's been working really hard to just trust the process that we're putting her through and trust, what we're telling her to do with her horse. So I think her future with this horse and with the sport in general is quite bright.
This has been Brylan Schrock and Eva Nasri reporting for MHS1.
That's all we have for you today. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Mainstream News and add us on Snapchat and Instagram at MHS Mainstream.
Don't forget to have a fun and safe spring break, Lions. And remember,
if it's news
and it's at McKinney High School,
it's MHS1.